my skin so gorgeous. We thank the life gorgeous. Thank the life gorgeous. I love the life gorgeous. Its torso is so tight.
SKOL. How do you say SKOL, by the way?
SKOL? Yeah. SKOL like a hard L. Yeah.
SKOL. Craigers with Kyle Theige. This is Life Gorgeous. Share my magical life in hopes of improving your life. After the pick 6 from JJ, I said, I got to do a podcast, for Tuesday morning after the game. And I said, with Kyle, the first 10 minutes, I'm going to talk about Rob Dillingham. But it's all changed. A major roller coaster shift. And the reason I wanted to do a pod and talk to you because of the debut of JJ McCarthy, a lot of pressure on him. I actually had us losing this game prior because it's hard to play in Chicago, and I just thought he'd be a little nervous. So let's talk JJ. What was going through your head during the first quarter? 3 and out, 3 and out.
You've taught me a couple things. You've taught me to cut back on the espresso martinis because of the sugar and sugar levels. You've also taught me to, don't really get overreactions in the first half of a basketball game or a football game. I kind of broke all those rules, including the espresso martini one tonight. That first half, I was texting my dad. Here's a list of guys that my dad and I texted about. Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, local kid, Max Brosmer, Josh Dobbs, Christian Ponder, Joe Webb, Saddam Hussein, Sam Darnold, and McLeod Bethel Thompson.
What, better than JJ or what?
Yeah, like it was pretty bleak there in the first half. And you were really starting to think like maybe they should have let this kid play more than 4 snaps in the preseason.
Yeah.
And then I think my hot take on that game is when you wake up and listen to this on Tuesday or whatever, that 59-yard field goal that the Vikings hit kind of saved the season.
Yeah.
JJ had one good rope. He has that like 30-yard completion. He goes out of bounds. There's 11 seconds left, Craig.
Yeah.
Like you run an out route, like 7-8 yards, try to get more time. Your kicker's career long is 58.
Yeah.
And then they just, nope. We're just going to kick a 59-yarder. The vibes were so weird.
Yeah.
And KOC was so weird. And then at halftime, it just flipped. And the Vikings were like, we're the Vikings. And I think more than anything, the Bears were like, hey, by the way, we're still the Bears. Yeah. We're going to trip all over ourselves. And that was one of the most impressive, just random, exciting games I can remember.
Well, it's a real shift. There's part of me that I'm trying to believe the hype of the JJ McCarthy supporters.
Yep.
He's just a winner. Well, he did that tonight. So I was waiting for him to shift into this mode of making some good plays. A couple things that have bothered me. So I don't always like the play calls by KOC. I want to know, and I need someone to do the research. I need the questions asked to KOC. JJ McCarthy was canning a bunch of plays. He can't. And the play clock was running down and it was becoming very stressful. So that was bothering me. And I want to make sure KOC, does he say, no, just run that play. Don't can all of them. Don't can all of them. Or is he doing exactly what he's supposed to do? So I have no idea on that.
It did seem like there were multiple times in that first half where Troy and Buck were like, there's 4 seconds left on the play clock. And JJ McCarthy is at the line, like changing the play. So I think you're right on that.
Yeah.
For sure.
I want more running. I do like Jordan Mason a lot.
Yep.
I mean, maybe he's ahead of Aaron Jones.
Yep.
You could start Aaron, and Aaron's a great receiver. He got the interference call. But so JJ also has to work on a number of things, but don't get the passes knocked down all the time. I know the guys jump, but you have to know they're going to jump. And so you got to work on that. But I'm focusing on JJ before I talk about our stellar defense. The shift into making plays after the pick 6, the touchdown pass to Justin Jefferson in the end zone in a crowd, strong arm, Colin Cowherd, strong arm. What'd you think of that pass?
I think the pass was crazy, right? Like it's clear even on the tape of him in Michigan that he
Yeah.
throws his best just across the middle of the field when he can throw a fastball. I think
Yeah.
at the combine he like might have set the record for like just speed miles per hour of how fast he throws the ball. So that was kind of in his wheelhouse. I think more than anything, it was just the confidence to throw another pretty not questionable, but like it was a tight window after you throw that pick six, which I was watching the Manning cast. So it was
Yeah.
Eli and Peyton, and they were
Yeah.
both like, dude, that is just fundamentally like the cornerback isn't into like his back pedal. Like you can't throw that ball. He kind of gave him a layup for a pick six. So for him to just shake it off, I'm
Yeah.
with you, by the way. Like there was real talk. Like I thought if they would have lost that game, we would have come on here and been like, I think they've been babying him too much. Like he played 4 snaps in
Yeah.
preseason. Like they just never really let it loose. And then in that second half, for him to just respond that way,
Yeah.
it was incredible. But at some point too, we got to talk about Flores and the defense because I know how
Yes.
much you love defense.
Yes. And if you were hosting, we'd do it now, but you're not. So, so at any point, did you say JJ's not ready? I said it at somebody, I go, he's just not ready.
Again, do you want me to go over the names? One of them was Saddam Hussein, Craig. Yes, of
That's
course.
right. Okay, that's kind of that's an emphatic yes.
But you're right about the running thing too, right? Like they clearly wanted to establish the run, and I know in 2025 we don't love that, but once they could get Jordan Mason, who I mean, what a great acquisition for like a 6th-round pick this offseason.
Totally agree.
Once he broke that first one, and then you could kind of do the play action, dial it up, kind of establish that line, which was getting bullied without Darisaw at left tackle. They just kept. I mean, KOC trusted the game plan because that's what they wanted to do in the first half. It just didn't work, and that's why they only had like what 1 or 2 first downs in the entire first 24, 30 minutes. So, yeah, that running game opened up in the second half, and I thought Jordan Mason was good. I thought Aaron Jones was good too. Like it's nice to have more than one good running back.
Absolutely.
I think they have
you need them. You got to have both. You can't have one of these guys. And Jordan Mason, if he was the number 1 back, he'd get too tired. You need both these guys. I thought Justin Jefferson, I thought he should have caught 2 passes that he dropped. I mean, I know they were tough. JJ threw that one really low, and the other one was really high and hard. So I thought Justin Jefferson should have made a couple catches, and it's unfortunate we didn't get that first down with Thielen because the guy stripped him at the end. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I guess you're probably giving him a lot of credit for the strip. I thought he just kind of dropped it. And then I was again like down on I was like, man, we traded a 4th-round pick for a guy who can't catch a 7-yard out route. But the Jefferson ones were killer just because at the time you needed everyone else to kind of elevate the young kid, the 22-year-old.
Yes.
And for Jefferson to drop the one that hit the ground was kind of weird. The one that went up and through his hands, like that should have just been a catch. But then the touchdown one too, like credit where credit's due. That was a tough catch diving to the ground. So the play calling in the second half was night and day from the first half. I
totally agree.
The offensive line held up too. I've never seen you go to a sporting event, there's a line outside the men's or women's bathroom. I've never seen that with the blue tent. There was a line to get into the blue tent with all the injuries that happened. But the running game, and then McCarthy made the big throws after, all you wanted him to do was not lose the game, and he definitely risked it there with that pick six. But then again, Brian Flores did that Tom Hanks movie of like, I'm the captain now. His defense was all over the place, especially in that second half. And I think it gave KOC the confidence to kind of call some of those big shots.
We're almost going to get to
I'm just keep bringing it up.
Because I love him. And but one more, I love the play call of fake the handoff and roll out or run, bootleg it for JJ's touchdown. So inspirational, so fired up, unbelievable. What was Kyle Theige doing when JJ scored his touchdown?
It was just the fact of after all of that, after my dad and I are like, is Joe Webb like still in the league? Like KOC let Josh Dobbs uncork it more last year than he did with JJ McCarthy. For him to call that play and again too, like I know we might talk Timberwolves a little bit, maybe not, but I think back to Anthony Edwards in late 2020 when he gets drafted and the draft, prep on him is like, he can't do this. He can't do this. McCarthy was like, he's not a very good athlete. He's not Caleb Williams. He's not built like Drake May. For KOC to just say bleep it and kind of put it all on the table and say, watch this biggest play of the game. I'm going to have my non-athlete quarterback. kind of just take it himself for 16 yards, put his head down.
I love it.
I also thought that 2-point conversion that they didn't get the first time before the penalty, he got absolutely, you go back and watch, he got cracked. Like he was bent in half.
Yeah.
He gets back up. So my biggest concern really, truly for this team was all the preseason kind of training camp stuff was that, I felt like they were just kind of babying him again and training wheels and all that stuff. When he ran that one into the end zone, that was KOC playing 5D chess. Because every lineman and every player ran up to McCarthy and was like, "Oh, you're a gamer." Like you just said earlier, Craig, like this is why we got you. You're built for these big moments. And again, Monday Night Football, Soldier Field, on a field that looked like frosted cake, he might have been the best player out there in the second half.
Well, I know he likes to run because he said in an interview it's a secret weapon. And we all know how devastating it is against a defense when you got a guy almost sacked and then he can run for a first down. Ladies and gentlemen, we now talk about Kyle Theige's favorite subject, Brian Flores and his defense. And I want you to know, I said, if we win the game, we're going to win it with our defense because you can't put all this pressure on JJ. That was before. I said that for 2 weeks before the game. And then I read the stat where Ben Johnson is 4-0 against Brian Flores and averages 31 points. And because, Ben Johnson is he's an offensive guru. Love our defense. And it was so good. And it really picked up in the second half, like 3 and out. We didn't contain him at the beginning, but in that first drive when they scored the 7, Caleb Williams made an unbelievable pass on third down. And I thought the guy was going to be out of bounds, but he was in. So they needed a miracle third down pass. And then his run was very good. I thought we were going to smack him at the 1. But how good is B-Flow?
So good. I didn't know this in the moment. It felt like the Bears ran more plays than the Vikings, but there was 63-49 plays for the Bears. And they lose a couple guys to injuries. They don't have Harrison Smith in that back to kind of like be the head coach on the field.
Yeah.
And he just kept on. I mean, they almost had another Van Ginkel where he almost just picked it off. Like that was insane.
Right.
But Flores just does. I mean, I still, in my opinion, don't think they have like that traditional blue chipper. Like they don't have this, like maybe we'll see if Dallas Turner can become an elite edge guy, but they have really good players. They obviously crushed free agency last summer, 2 summers ago, but he just finds ways to make quarterbacks' lives hell. And then it's bend, don't break. I mean, 27-24, you take away that pick 6, that's 17. They scored 1 late in the game when I think the Vikings were like, hey, we're just going to keep you in front of us. And if you score, you score. He's a real asset. And like coaching, I know you know this in all of your favorite sports, but having a coaching combo like KOC and Flo, that's what I think makes a lot of people really hyped about what this team can do. Is if McCarthy doesn't throw those interceptions as the season progresses, like run the ball, you have the best wide receiver in the league, and then the defense is just nasty.
Love our defense. Oh yeah, I just love so satisfying. And I was reading comments from people, and there was a lot of frustration that we weren't sacking Caleb Williams because he's an athlete. And it didn't bother me as much. I just want to punt the ball. What's this guy's name? Miles Price? Is that our punt returner? Is that his name?
I don't know what his name. I think that might be it, but he's also top 5 Viking for me of all time. Also, like when's the last time the Vikings had a really dangerous punt returner? And he was just kind of giving them some air and some fresh energy, especially in that first half. So it wasn't Miles Price though. I don't know if we'll get to this. It wasn't Miles Price that had the last kick return. Like he's the punt returner, but that kick return,
Ty Chandler coming out of the end zone.
Going back to smart coaching, I mean, ESPN did a great job of highlighting it, but Ty Chandler catches the ball in the end zone, which, by the way, Cairo Santos for the Bears should have kicked it anywhere but into the end zone. But he catches the ball, Craig, and he looks at the coach like an 8-year-old does when he's playing basketball, and he looks at his dad. Yeah. He looks at the coach, and he's like, what do you want me to do? And KOC's like, run. And then he just takes off, kills the 2-minute warning. Coaching, again, like Flo, KOC, the biggest stat of the night might be the fact that the Vikings had 8 penalties for 50 yards. The Bears had 12 for 127.
Good stats. I have the stats here. It is Miles Price. Okay. He is our new punt returner.
Big fan.
And one of my least favorite things in life is when you force them to punt on third down, you stop them, and then they punt, and then we fumble the ball.
Right.
I mean, that's I just can't stand it. Like, I'm a perfectionist. I don't like turnovers. In the end, with the Wolves, and so let's just talk about the game a little bit. The roller coaster of this is embarrassing, and then it shifted, and we scored, and then we stopped them and got the ball back. And that, I mean, when did you start believing?
Oh, that's probably 30 seconds ago when you texted me to come do the pod because I didn't believe it in real time. No, it goes back to the defense. And I think it was after they scored, the 2-point conversion goes haywire, and then they get a penalty and they move up to the 1. I'm like, okay, here's where you run the ball. Then they get tricky again, which KOC does.
He does
every
he
now
does
and
that.
then, get ahead of his skis a little bit with play calling. But then they come right back down, and I'm pretty sure they forced the 3 and out. And that's when you could tell, like, okay, the Bears, just like the aura and the brand of that franchise of so many years. They haven't won a playoff game since 2010. I was in sophomore in college. It could kind of came falling back down on them again. Like, okay, they have a real chance here. Let's see what they do. And then I think it was the first play of that next drive. They ripped a big run, and then they had like a 25-yard pass. So it was all about the defense to me because, again, I still think training wheels, babying, and whatever, that first half, you dug yourself a big enough hole that if you don't play good defense in the second half, a couple touchdowns wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
So for Flores to basically say, again, I know the Bears scored late, but they basically kind of shut them out there in the second half. That's what won them the game. And that's what makes them so dangerous.
So how good is JJ McCarthy going to be? What do you and your dad say?
Well, my dad is a big North Dakota State grad and alum, so he was kind of hoping Carson Wentz would just like WWE his way into the game in the second half.
I like Carson Wentz, by the way.
Okay.
He runs the football well.
He does run. I just that's got to be a big one for him. All the stories coming into this about McCarthy too and his ties to Chicago and all that stuff. For him to win that game, and then post game, he was pretty just low key, like humble about it. That's the type of stuff that you really, I don't know if you can teach.
Yeah.
So I'm a believer. I still like, now I want to see another primetime game next Sunday at home this time, but Sunday Night Football against a Falcons team that is kind of weird. So I hope that they continue to like let them rip a little bit, because I think that first half, it would have been pretty ugly. Again, shout out to Will Reichert. Like, if he doesn't make that kick and they go into the half down 10-3, it felt like it was 30-3.
I know.
So
it was rough. It was rough. I think I was okay because I thought I thought it was a tough place to play. So I had it as a loss for us.
Okay.
And then I said, but I got to give this guy some time. I just want to see now how the trajectory, does he continue to, can he keep playing like he did in the second half?
Mm-hmm.
And does he play even better and make better passes, not get as many passes knocked down, not can as many plays with 4 seconds left on the play clock? This is huge. I can't wait to, I usually watch the post game with KOC and the players. I'm going to do that. I have to get this thing in the can. I think, we're at 18 minutes. It's good for the young people. What a win. So proud of them. Unexpected. I didn't know what I honestly, I don't think any of us knew what to expect, but one guy tweeted, train wreck is possible and it's happening. You know, like after the pick six, they go, this was a possibility for JJ, train wreck, and it's happening. And then the momentum shift, he's got to be feeling so good about that, you know?
I'm pretty hyperbolic and I'm a prisoner of the moment, but that was one of the best, most enjoyable 3 hours on the old Twitter timeline that I can remember. Because again, it was just like people were trying to package the Vikings with the Twins and sell both franchises in that second quarter. And for them to turn it around. And then, I mean, again, like, that's a big win, not just for McCarthy's confidence,
right?
But also it's a division game, like, and everyone's watching. So, and he was the butt of all jokes. KOC was getting grilled. Everyone was getting grilled. So
yeah.
Everyone had a big performance. Naylor, again, shout out to him. I think he had a big, like, 28-yard catch at one point. That might have been the one that set up the field goal.
That was his play. Naylor set up the field goal. Yeah.
So again, this is it is it feels so weird, Craig, as we kind of put a bow on this, that was the same sport that the Bills and the Ravens played on Sunday.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to find a lot more offensive chemistry and kind of get this thing humming more. But that was everyone's first real time seeing JJ McCarthy, 22 years old, play in purple.
Yeah.
And I think despite the slow potential train wreck, he got that thing on the tracks and choo-choo.
Choo-choo, choo-choo. I tweeted someone after the game, the parade route should end at First Avenue. You know, we're going to win the Super Bowl. And I just trying to plan the parade route. But anywho, do you want to talk Timberwolves in the last 30 seconds? Because I got to edit this puppy up. I still think we need a point guard. We'll see how a lot of pressure on Rob Dillingham. Fired up for the Wolves. What do you got on the Wolves?
Big expectations this year. No excuses. I think a lot of guys got paid. A lot of guys should feel comfortable. The ownership transition after 4 years is done.
Yeah.
Finch didn't lose any top assistants. You run back the same starting five. You add
TJ Shannon, 6th man of the year.
TJ Shannon, Jalen Clark, Rob Dillingham, take the training wheels off him. Maybe let him kind of cook a little bit like McCarthy. So they have all the pieces now. There's really no excuses. They should go out there and kind of do the opposite of what the Vikings did tonight. They should come out early in the season and just dominate.
Kyle, thanks for staying up late. I really appreciate it. I thought it was important that we talk about JJ McCarthy's first pro game and what a wild one it was. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, buddy.
That's our show. We'll see you next time. Remember, young people, I'm proud of you.